What's up, Razor Nation? Savage here. Today I wanted to share an amazing story about one of my clients. I want to preface this story with the fact that I live in what is possibly the best location for high school wrestling in the country. I know this is a bold claim, however, I live in northeastern Pennsylvania in a region known as the Lehigh Valley. As you all know, Pennsylvania is the agreed upon best state for wrestling, as is evidenced by the tremendous number of NCAA All-Americans and national champions year in and year out. I live in District 11, which is the home of both the AA and AAA state champions last year in Notre Dame High School and Bethlehem Catholic High School respectively. The city that I live in, Easton, Pennsylvania, has the most NCAA All-Americans of any public school program in the country. Also, it was named the #1 high school wrestling program in the country by Amateur Wrestling News 4 times. Right across the Delaware River is perennial powerhouse Phillipsburg High School, New Jersey, which has been one of the most dominant programs in New Jersey wrestling history, winning over 1,000 matches as well, and claiming well over a dozen team and individual state titles. Not to mention other powerhouse programs in the immediate area including Nazareth, Northampton, Liberty, Parkland, even Blair Academy, Malvern Prep, and Wyoming Seminary are all within an hour give or take. The list goes on and on. I offer this information to add some context to the amazing feat that was accomplished by the particular client in which I am speaking. Due to confidentiality, we'll call him Ben. Ben came to me at the beginning of the season looking for help in a few areas. One aspect of this story that makes it even more amazing is that Ben was only in his second year of wrestling. He didn't start wrestling until his freshman year of high school. After sitting down and speaking with him, I realized that he was an extremely hard worker with a tremendous will to get better and win. Now, I'm not trying to take full credit for what transpired because Ben is coached by some extremely well-versed, knowledgeable coaches that I know personally, and as I mentioned, he is an extremely hard worker. That is one of the main characteristics that I look for when deciding whether or not to work with a client, is their desire to get better. I have to assess their will to put in the work and do what it takes to achieve their goals because it is one of the most important factors in determining whether or not they will be successful on the mat. And because of the intensity of one-on-one combat that wrestling entails, it requires more work in the mental field because of the unique demands placed on the wrestler's psyche. This extreme nervousness resulted in poor performance on the mat. He said that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get over the debilitating nerves, and this led to him holding back on the mat. Ben and I began working on and developing his self-image, which is the foundation in which all of your actions and beliefs is built. As I always say, behaviors follow beliefs before long. Ben's behaviors were changing, as a result in his change of beliefs. Another issue that he was struggling with that is also extremely common, is that he couldn't get himself to shoot. This is another issue that I see a lot of wrestlers struggle with. He had difficulty opening up and implementing the moves and techniques that he had learned because he froze up when on the mat. It was essentially a mental block. In order to address this issue, Ben and I began to work on controlling his focus. This is another essential skill to develop in one's mind training repertoire because, as I was able to teach Ben, controlling your focus has a tremendous effect on your mindset, and whether it is good or bad. We also began working on a technique called visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps build confidence, and also helped tremendously in getting Ben to be aggressive and shoot. You see, what we need to understand is that when dealing with these types of problems, which I would venture to say almost all wrestlers do, especially when starting out, it's all a matter of learning how to implement techniques and strategies in order to get control of your mind and emotions. It's really not so different than learning moves and techniques that you would physically use on the mat. When I see a wrestler struggle to overcome the battle being fought in their mind, it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes by Mike Tyson's head trainer Cus D'Amato when he said, "To see a man beaten not by a better opponent, but by himself is a tragedy." This is precisely what D'Amato is referring to. I see so many athletes beat themselves, because they don't know the proper way to deal with all of the negative emotions and thoughts that they're dealing with before stepping on the mat. So, Ben and I started working together. Lo and behold, within a few short sessions, Ben was a changed man. It became so that when he came to see me for a session, he had a whole new energy about him. He almost seemed like a different kid. I could sense a newfound confidence and excitement about the sport. And maybe most important of all, he was now having fun. Ben said that his confidence had gone through the roof. He didn't feel nervous before matches anymore. He was shooting and wrestling more aggressively. He almost couldn't believe the changes that were occurring on the mat. Along with these changes came a lot more success. He began to win more and his scoring went through the roof. His coaches noticed the change as well, because perhaps the most amazing part of the story is that despite being a second-year wrestler, Wrestling for one of the most storied high school wrestling programs in the country, Ben began to get varsity time on the mat. As I write this email, Ben is continuing to get better, and from what I see, the sky's the limit. As for me, I'm extremely happy for my client, but I can't say that I'm surprised. The reason is that, as I've explained to Ben, when you train your body it takes time to see progress. What I mean by that is that it takes time to get stronger. Your bench doesn't go from 150 pounds to 200 pounds in a week. You don't go from running a mile to 5 miles in a week. Those physical changes take time because your body needs time to adapt. But when it comes to training your mind, the improvements and the results can be much shorter, and sometimes even immediate. The reason is that because the change in your thinking can be instant, so the change in behavior can be instant. This is very exciting because, like I said, it can change your whole perception of your experience in both wrestling and in life. I'm going to wrap this up, but I just wanted to share that amazing story because number 1, I'm really proud of Ben. Number 2, he's just a great example of the impact that training your mind can have on your wrestling career. If you found this example interesting and would like to try this program out for yourself, I encourage you to click on the link below. Money back guarantee. If you are not fully satisfied with the results, I will give you your money back, no questions asked. I'm confident that you will not be disappointed. You literally have nothing to lose but your limitations. Until next time, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Stay sharp.